3rd down and 7. That pass is taken in at the 30-yard line by Kyle Pitts. Mariota the fake, and then Algier makes the grab, but that did.
He said strength early to set him up with my quickness. I think he used both on that play.
First time we see Chuba Hubbard in the game. Pass is caught along the near sideline by going against the worst pass defense in the league. This time they give it to Blackshear, a rookie out of Virginia Tech. 3rd and 10 from the 28-yard line. Pressure put on. Pass is incomplete, not even looking for it. Looking for the first points of the game. There's 7 minutes to go in the quarter, and the kick is close. Hits the post and bangs through. On a 3rd and 9. Pressure coming. Hangs in the pocket. Fires. Caught at the 45. Keeps it on the RPO on 3rd and 19. Has to pick it up off the ground. Another flag is thrown behind the play. Deep downfield into a lot of good coverage and knocked down again by Xavier Woods.
Since Cam Newton was healthy and they had it rolling, since then they've been trying to come up with answers and they just haven't found it.
And 2nd and 11, bursting over the right side goes Deontay Foreman. To the left side, trying to break the tackle. Picking up a
We're working to get back to having that kind of defense.
Channeling the great Dick LeBeau. And through the middle of to the outside. That'll be a first down. So in bits and pieces are they moving downfield. Maybe a little chunk play here, and instead they're going to get a sack back at the 35-yard line. The ball came out after the whistle had sounded. D. Alford came in. 3rd down and 4. Through the middle and fighting. See where they spot it right now. 2nd and 8 from the 42. Can they cash in on that bad punt and good field position? Swinging out here to Chenault. Chenault down the sideline. He goes, staying inbounds, and Chenault all the way with a touchdown. Laviska Chenault for 36 yards. Atlanta's gained only 51 yards in the half. Pressured again. Look out. Flag thrown. Launches one deep downfield, and that's picked off at the 37-yard line. J.C. Horn, and he steps out of bounds near midfield. Joe Horn, the receiver, a lot of years with the Saints. Start this drive with a run up the middle for a gain of 4. Run a draw, and that doesn't fool anybody. So stuffed is Hubbard by Graham. 6-yarder with a doink for the first points of the game. And this time inside the right upright.
And I think now he realizes he's more of a nose guard than he is a 3 technique.
Keeps some good company. Meanwhile, the pass is caught up at the 39-yard line. And that's Drake London who takes a shot, and 3 flags come in. Falcons have 1 timeout. Low snap. Collects it. High pass. That's collected. Patterson. And throws to Patterson low, but he's able to. Pinion puts it down. Koo bangs it through. And we are at halftime.
Let's beat them at their game.
First time tonight they've gone totally empty, and that's dropped. That's Chenault, the only touchdown in the game scored by him. And he's big at 6'2" and 220. Raining harder now. Mariota avoids the sack. He'll take off. Flag is thrown, though. And Marcus with a good run. And then Patterson. Lots of room. 3rd and 9. Mariota flushed out. Look out. Out of bounds. Loss of 5. Pinion with his 4th punt of the night. Fair catch call for, but it bounces. And the perfectly named Bradley Pinion, having nothing to do with Ickey Woods. 3rd and 9. And at least the punt group will have a little bit of room to work with as Foreman gets the ball out to the 8-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 6 in his 11th season now. And look out, down he goes in the end zone. It's fielded at the 45-yard line. And again, the man averaging 20 yards per punt return. 2 backs in there with Mariota out of the pistol. Hands the ball off this time. Caleb Huntley. Play action. Over the middle. Caught. Drake London, but a flag. For the moment, a touchdown. And London thinks it'll be on the defense. They begin to celebrate already to make it a 3-point game. And he can't. Agree. 2nd and 7. It's fired and caught up at the 30-yard line and taking it to midfield and into Falcons territory all the way to the 38-yard line goes Terrace Marshall. To the right side. Open. Caught. Smith. Shi Smith makes the grab. Meanwhile, Moore still being evaluated on the sideline on 1st down here. Walker's going to keep it, spin his way to the 16-yard line. Not so great. It's a great euphemism for a 0.0 pass rate.
Yeah, you know.
I get the point.
Yeah.
To the outside with room and into the end zone. Touchdown. Broke away from Evans. So Deontay Foreman, in he goes. 12 yards, 83 on the night, and back to a 2-possession lead. Now Atlanta begins this drive down by 10. Mariota avoids the sack, throws, caught, 44-yard line, spinning away. Big gain, still on his feet, and tackled finally. Rain is pretty much stopped. Mariota throwing deep downfield and throwing it out of bounds. On the ground. Big run again, but of course you've got a flag at the 50-yard line. Swing it out. Chenault. And fighting his way, trying to get with Mayfield and Darnold looking on from the sidelines. Good slip move. Boy, that's nice running.
Next time.
Have to get to the 14. Walker under pressure. Made them from 46 and from 49. And there is the hat trick. You're around. Steve Wilks is a very impressive man. And this is a very impressive run right here. After the 49-yard line goes Caleb Huntley. 3rd down and 4. And down goes Mariota, just getting a small piece. Meanwhile, the ball is out, but are they going to call this now? No, they're stopping the play. They're stopping the play. Crowd is in an uproar. They're running into the end zone. But you've got the only man that matters, Adrian Hill.
What Mariota is doing tonight with some of these decisions, Lavu blitzed, trips him up there, and the body is down, obviously. He's checking. He sees those 2 inside backers.
Got the play away just barely, and then he is swallowed up. Brian Burns, who's had a relatively quiet night. Yeah, they need a 1st down on the 3rd down play. They're 2 out of 9. And Mariota is going to get it with his legs before it gets tripped up at the 24-yard line by Luvu.
They got to get that right. Even though they've got some pieces, that would make them a serious contender.
Mariota under pressure, throws, pulled in.
Kind of a little backyard football play there by Mariota.
Yeah, fraught with danger, but it works. To the sideline again. That is caught. Making the grab again is Bird. Falcons on the move. Ball at the 43. This drive started back at their own 3-yard line. 7th play of the drive. Fired over the middle. High, but called in pitch. Drive only 2 minutes old. They've already gone 72 yards in 7 plays. Wide open and making the grab in the end zone. Kadero Hodge makes the catch for the touchdown. Wow. 97 yards, 8 plays. That's good from 25, and they made it look easy.
They sure did.
In the pocket, under pressure. Oh, and that's almost picked and incomplete. Richie Grant is right there.
It's not just about power with 95.
Again, a low snap. Mariota's able to come up with it. Scrambles away. Can't avoid the sack. They just kept the pressure coming and coming and coming. Marquise Haynes with the sack. So you don't need all 18 on this play, but they try to get at least a chunk, and they cannot do that. And Mariota will go down and get sacked. Haynes does it again. Back to back. Marquise Haynes. Atlanta can stop it once. Foreman. Give it to Foreman again. From 37 yards. To put the final ball on it. Yep. Makes it 25-15. And Steve Wilkes and his team, after that bombing in Cincinnati last week, come in and knock off the slightly favored Atlanta Falcons.